25 years transition, Professor Víctor Godoy López is a social communicator and journalist of the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana, Master in International Affairs from the Universidad Externado de Colombia, in conjunction with the Columbia University and the Sciences Po of Paris, Master in Integral Logistics and Foreign Trade of Camilo University, José Cela from Spain, currently studying the third year of his PhD in Political Studies in the Universidad Externado de Colombia and the Twente University of the Netherlands. He has worked in the field of international consulting and marketing. He was an external communication advisor at the Motorola and the Global Investment Companies. Author of the book Commercial Profile of Mexico, Orientation for the Colombian Entrepreneur, which was presented in the TwentyFive version of the book fair, winner of the Scholarship for Excellence of the Government of Mexico in the second semester of 2015. He has served as a professor at the Escuela Colombiana de Ingeniería, University of Nariño, in postgraduate mode, and currently serves as professor at the Universidad Santo Tomás in the share of Economic, Political, and Cultural Contextualization of Asia in the Middle East and Logistics and International Physical Distribution. Periodical visitor of several universities at an international level. Please welcome him to the stage.
Okay, good morning everyone. I feel you are fine. Well, this is an ambitious title about my short lecture. It's about a 25 years transition, the four powers, and the alleged crisis of the nation-state in contemporary age. If you know, the last quarter of century is a difficult time for us, for the economy, for the geopolitical situation, and in other topics. I want to start with these three characters with three superpowers that you obviously know. Mr. Putin, Mr. Donald Trump, and Mr. Xi Jinping. Obviously are the most powerful economies in nowadays, and we need to talk about this. Mr. Putin is the president, the former government of the Russia Federation. Obviously, Mr. Trump is the president of the United States. And remember, in the 2016 campaign, the slogan of the campaign was "Make America Great Again," for example. And on the other hand, we have the superpower Xi Jinping for China. China is the second largest economy nowadays, too. For example, look at the cartoons. Mr. Putin is a Superman in the cartoons. The son, uncle, and Xi Jinping like a statue. Look at this, is the most important power from China in nowadays, is the China's One Belt One Road initiatives. It's about to China embrace the world, for example, in the routes, in Silk Road Economic Belt, in land route, and maritime Silk Road, in maritime route. It's a route between Beijing, the capital of China, and Madrid, obviously a capital to Spain, and to strengthen and to embrace the relation between China and South Africa, countries in Latin America like Chile, Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil, for example. And look at this. Today, the great fortune of the world is about technology, for example. And in this chart, we have the 70% of the global wealth concentration is in cities like London, New York, Osaka in Japan, Hong Kong in China, Tokyo in Japan too, Washington, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Look at this. We don't have any city in importance in Latin America, for example. And remember the past. In the past, we have the Cold War, between United States and USSR, Soviet Union. It's the difference between two ideological difference between democratics, the capitalist model from USA, and totalitarian, is the communist model for Soviet Union. You know the technological ambitions, for example, and the military strength, arms race, the global career, for example. And what about the Cold War? You know here the different periods about. In the first period, you have the formation of the Cold War system. The second period, you have the competitive coexistence. And during the 80s, you have the collapse of the Cold War system. The war is quite interesting in geopolitical nowadays because the strength, the fight between Russia, and the United States is in the same team of this period. The Cold War started unexpectedly early after the end of World War II, almost without a pause, and had three dimensions: the ideological dimension, the geopolitical dimension, and the military dimension. The ideological dimension is about the global conflict between the two political economical systems, capitalism and communism, the three worlds of the Cold War, the capitalist West, the communist East, and the Third World. The Third World in the past was, for example, Africa, Latin America, and Asia. And remember that the new economic development like Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and on the other hand, South Korea or Thailand and Indonesia in the past was very poor countries. For example, in the 60s, the GDP for Colombia was 3 more times of South Korea. The Cold War was fighting in countries like Vietnam, in Korea's war, for example. In the geopolitical dimension, before the World War II, there were 7 countries which were more powerful than the others: Britain, France, United States, USSR, Germany, Italy, and Japan. But remember that nowadays we have some economical problems with the Brexit in United Kingdom, for example, and the situation for Europe. Europe is not a strong force nowadays. They doesn't have an important army. For example, we have the NATO situation and the superpowers. A bipolar war, something unique in world history. But the two superpowers also had to cooperate with each other to keep their power. Look at this image. We have the red dictators, Russia's Stalin and China's Mao in the first parts of 50s era. Insistence called for change, for example, the glasnost policy in USSR and Soviet Union, for example, one thing. And look at this, the war according to Ronald Reagan. In the first part of the 80s, we have a different integration of the war because look at the overview of the United States. We're so different between the neoliberalist policies in the United States and obviously in Great Britain with Margaret Thatcher, the Lady of Iron, for example, the nickname of her. And look at this, for example, California is the most important part nowadays in the United States. The Republicans and other real Americans. Look at this, what happened with the Panama Channel, and Africa, USSR, and Asia. Asia is not visible in this map. And what happened with this man is Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev won the Nobel Peace Prize, for example, from Russia. The end of the Cold War. The Cold War was over, brought to a close, not by the missiles. And, for example, in this news, The economist Putinins is a model of new government from Russia in this area. What about the model of government from Putin? The political turnaround, consolidation of elites behind Putin, the Kremlin, the family, key groups of the business elite, bureaucracy, the army, the security service. Remember that in the past, Mr. Putin was an important member of the KGB, the intelligence agency for the antique USSR, but now it's Russia. Putin's gain from global war of terror, for example, US and Russia fighting the same enemy, is one of the most important things of these days. The market, authoritarianism, economic policy. You know the two most important products of Russian economy, the oil and the gas, for example. And look at the global economic career, for example, the dollar, the rubles, the coin of Russia. Look at this image, for example, for Mr. Putin. And the Russian economy since fall of Soviet Union. In Yeltsin years and the difference with Putin's year, for example. And on the other hand, we have this character, Mr. Donald Trump, the former president of the United States. In this cover, for example, for Time magazine, we have the Welcome to America. Remember the controversy about the migrations of Central America, Mexico, and another region of the global economic consideration. And what about Mr. Trump? For example, in Time magazine, in this another cover, we have two different images. In this, nothing to see here in the story. It's about the judge for important person of the government. And who is Donald Trump? Heir to a construction fortune, business magnate, New York City tabloid obsession, reality TV star, and now the Republican Party presently presidential. For example, another picture for him in the construction of an important building, and obviously he's a lover about the TV relationships. In this cover, for example, the second wife of him is Miss Marla Maples, and remember the first lady of the United States today is Melania Trump. Melania Trump is from Slovenia, for example. In this image, we see all the reality TV show, The Apprentice. It's famous. And look at this. It's the three main powerful men on this relation is Mr. Xi Jinping. In the past, with Mr. Obama, for example, with that you can see, in China, they have an important center for the Winnie Pooh the character, because it's the comparison about Mr. Xi Jinping and Winnie the Pooh. Look at this, maybe the same thing. And for example, in the other hand, we have the three powers about the nuclear missiles, about a table, Mr. Kim Jong-un, the North Korea leader, the government. And finally, we have another important topic, the main economical war, trade war between China and United States. Look at the chart. For example, the relation between the export and the imports between United States and China since the 2007 and the difference between 2016 is the inequality between the chart and the relation that we have. What will be do about the 2019 in economy? It's a diversion between the Latin America region For example, from Colombia, we have a several problem with our neighbor, with Venezuela, for example. And on the other hand, we have another strong relation with Pacific Alliance. We don't have any important FTA, free trade agreement. In 2011, we negotiate an important FTA with United States, but the results not so too strong with this country. But China is an important alliance that we can do with this great country, for example, and between China and the United States, the conclusion is we need to believe in a union because are the two superpowers of economy, and who knows what will happen with the presidential election in United States is the next year in 2020, and for example the powerful of Asia region is another important thing. Thank you very much. I hope that you are interested about the economy, the geopolitical situation, and we have an important year in this 2019.
Institución de Educación Superior sujeta a inspección y vigilancia por el Ministerio de Educación Nacional.